You know what I love about Republicans is that they are consistently so incompetent that they can't even get their jobs done. We saw this recently, of course, with the continuing resolution. We're going to keep the government funded till April-ish, maybe late March. Even though Trump told us not to do it, Elon Musk said not to do it. Trump said put in the debt ceiling, abolish that whole thing. And Republicans were like, well, we can't really do that, so we're going to pass this even though Trump told us not to. And that, of course, has created a lot of headaches now for Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson. But before I talk about that, let me just mention to everybody, this was like the 8th time in 2 years? The 8th time at least Republicans pushed us to within minutes of a government shutdown because they can't pass bills? Do we need to have a conversation about how horrible and dangerous that is? Like every 4 months, Republicans can't do their job to the point where, we're at a government shutdown again. What do we do? It was actually every 3 months that we had that over the last 2 years. And nobody acts like that's a big deal, but it is a huge deal. But anyway, back to this. Sorry, that just pisses me off that nobody seems to notice this and I'm the only one keeping count. It's insane that these people can't govern and they're about to control every branch of the federal government. Mike Johnson, by passing this bill, has pissed off Trump. He's pissed off a lot of Donald Trump's allies in the House of Representatives too. And because Republicans have a razor-thin majority in the House, just a couple of seats, it's going to be hard for them to elect a House Speaker. It's going to be difficult for them to get to a majority. And with Republican resignations, it could be that Democrats end up with a majority, which of course is a scenario I talked about recently. But that's a little far off one, right? I guess what's more realistic is that we do not get a single person that hits the majority to become the House Speaker. We saw it 2 years ago, and we're probably going to see it this time. The only difference is 2 years ago, it was just kind of hilarious to watch Republicans trip over themselves. But this time, they only have 3 days to get their act together, which it took them a couple weeks last time. Because if they don't do it in 3 days, do you know what doesn't happen? Donald Trump's 2024 electoral victory doesn't get certified. See, folks, let me explain how the House of Representatives works for anybody who doesn't know this. The new Congress comes in on January 3rd, right? That is their first day of work. So they're going to come in on January 3rd, and the first thing they have to do is elect a House Speaker before they get sworn in. So they are not technically members of Congress until after they elect a speaker. And as I said, they have 3 days to do it. Why? Well, because of the date that should be burned into everyone's brain at this point, January 6th. On January 6th, both houses of Congress, the Senate and the House, get together to vote to certify the Electoral College results. If Republicans have not picked a speaker by January 6th, none of them are sworn in. And there's literally no House of Representatives. If there's no House of Representatives, you cannot fulfill the constitutional requirements for certifying an election, which means Donald Trump's election won't be certified on time. Now, I don't want anybody thinking that I'm saying Trump is not going to be president. He will, okay? That is going to happen. But it could end up being delayed. And depending on how hard it is for Republicans to get their act together, because they can't even seem to get along with people they agree with in their own party, his inauguration could be delayed. As long as the certification takes place before January 20th, obviously his inauguration is not going to be delayed. It may be down to the wire, but it's not going to be delayed. If somehow, some way they still don't have a House Speaker by January 20th, then we enter a real weird state of constitutional limbo. Because at that point, President Biden's term officially ends. It doesn't matter if there's somebody there to take over or not. His term is over. So, who's president during that time? I don't know. But somebody would have to be sworn in. Somebody would have to take over temporarily, which would mean they would become the 47th president of the United States. So all that 47 merch that Trump has suddenly all becomes worthless and they have to change it to 48. So there's a lot of funny things that could likely happen, and rooted at the center of all of it is Republican incompetence, because these people are so dumb that they can't even get their jobs done, and they may end up screwing Donald Trump over in multiple different ways within the next 30 days. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.